Hi there. I think I'm live, but I can't tell. My phone or Facebook is telling me I can't film when I rotate my phone, but it's also telling me it's live. So I'm going to go ahead with the broadcast. And since it's my first one, I just want to see how it goes. And what I want to do today is I want to show you a live demonstration of how I use my personal color wheel to choose colors for a project. And specifically, I want to show you how to choose colors for a specific project, which is this Rainbow Jacks quilt block and pillow that I've got here. So, and by the way, this is a new free pattern. So if you haven't gotten your copy, be sure to visit my blog for your copy. That copy is for my newsletter subscribers. So if you are not yet subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe, or you can also join my Facebook group, and I'll be giving that pattern free in my Facebook group as well, if you don't want to receive emails from me. Okay, so the reason I came up with this exercise, personal color wheel, is to create a really quick way to choose colors for a rainbow quilt. So, you know, I've made a ton of rainbow quilts, and after a while, I really felt like I just was reinventing the wheel every time, and I got tired of choosing colors, and I wanted to skip right to the fun part for me, which is the making of the quilt. So I came up with a strategy to help me quickly choose colors for a rainbow quilt. And so what that ended up being is the personal color wheel exercise. And that's what I want to share with you today. And again, you can get this personal color wheel exercise on my blog. It's a free download. It's also available in the 2019 Quilter's Planner, and it's much prettier in the Quilter's Planner. So if you want to get the Quilter's Planner, you can use the exercise or find the exercise in the Quilter's Planner. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate the phone right now so that you can see my workspace down here. Okay, so if you get dizzy, you might wanna look away for just a minute. All right. Bring you closer to me. Awesome. Okay, so here on my table, I've got the copy of the Rainbow Jacks pattern, and I've also got what I'll be choosing colors from. This is a Kona color card, and it's got all the solids that I normally work with. So I don't know if you're familiar with the color card, but it has, this one in particular has 340 colors, and this is one that's in the book, but I also have a series of color cards that I have cut up and I store in this storage box, which I think a lot of people use this for embroidery threads. I use it to store my color chips. So I'm going to be choosing my colors using the solid color chips here just to make it easy. And I want to show you what the personal color wheel exercise looks like. And of course, my printer was not printing this morning, so I'm going to put it on my iPad. So this is what the personal color wheel exercise looks like. You have a blank color wheel, and then on the second page you have the instructions. And again, in the 2019 Quilter's Planner, it's much prettier, so do be sure to check that version out. Okay, so I'm going to be working from this, but I'm going to be working not on the iPad because I think that's distracting. But our first step for the personal color wheel exercise is to choose the primary colors. So I'm going to choose my primary colors. I've got my color planner here. I'm just going to stick that to the side because I don't need it quite yet. And I've really been inspired to choose pastel colors. I don't know why, but I really want to play with some pastel colors. I just got this My Little Pony 35th anniversary collector's item, and I don't know, I just love the pastel colors. So this is my inspiration for my colors today. Okay, so the first step is to choose primary colors. And again, if you're not familiar with primary colors, I think you probably are, but it's blue, yellow, and red. And the beauty of the personal color wheel is that you get to choose colors that personally are meaningful to you and speak to you. I'm just gonna adjust my light a little bit to make sure that this area of the table is lighter. Okay, I think that helped a little bit. Okay, so like I was saying, as you're choosing your colors for your personal color wheel, you really want to choose colors that speak to you personally. So even though it's a color wheel, you don't have to choose colors that you don't like. This is something that is personal to you, so choose what you like. And my tendency is to choose bright colors, so I would go for this darker blue if I'm going for pastel, but I have to remind myself that I'm going for pastel. Let's do pastel. But do I want to do that much pastel? Yeah, I think I do. I'm going to try it. I'm going to get out of my color comfort zone here. I'm going to try something new. So I've got it in my head. I wanted to do pastels, right? But once I started putting them on the table, I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks really, really pastel. Okay, so these are the primary colors. My next step is to choose the secondary colors. So again, you want to do the same thing. You want to choose secondary colors that speak to you personally, not necessarily someone else, but to you in particular. Okay, so the secondary colors are green, purple, and orange. I have very strong opinions about green, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to find one I like right away. I really like a blue-green or a yellow-green, but not a true green or a forest green. So I've got these two right here just as examples of what I like. I know those aren't pastel, but I'm just going for a starting point now. Maybe something in a mint would look nice. This is mint. And maybe a light lime green. I'm gonna go with this one, pond. And I'm gonna save this sprout. I think I'm gonna like that for the tertiary colors. Okay, now I'm gonna look for a purple that I like. Purple can be tricky because purple can really easily veer towards the red or the blue side. So it's really tricky for me to choose a true purple. I think I'm gonna start with lavender, maybe this light color right here. I'm gonna go with this one just because it matches the rest of the colors in tone and color saturation. And my next one is orange. I really, really love orange, but it's so hard to work with sometimes. Oops. I spy this creamsicle, which I love. I know I love this creamsicle. Yeah, that looks really nice. Okay, now that I've got my primary and secondary colors out, I'm feeling better about my pastel color choices here. Okay, then my next step is to choose the tertiary colors. And the tertiary colors are going to be the colors in between the primary and the secondary. So I'm going to be adding 6 more tertiary colors to this color wheel. And this step can be a bit tricky when you're looking towards getting pastels right off the bat, because you're looking at two things. So one, you're looking at the hue. So is it a yellow orange, for example? And then the second thing you're looking for is the tone, how much color and how much white is in the fabric. So this step might be tricky if you're gonna go for pastels or dark tones right off the bat. Okay, so I've got a yellow orange I'm happy with. Let's look for a yellow green. Remember, I've got this sprout from earlier. Okay, and then a green blue green. And as you do this, you can use your worksheet to help you choose the colors. I know these pretty much by heart, so I know I'm looking for a blue green right here. What about Ice Frappe? That looks really light compared to the rest of the colors, which isn't a bad thing, but I want to keep the color, the contrast about the same. Aqua's a little better. I think it's really close to Pond though, so I'm looking for something that's truly in the middle here, if it's possible. Capri looks closer, but it does look a bit more saturated in color, doesn't it? Okay, that looks good. So that looks like a blue-green, and it also looks close to the pastel, the amount of contrast that I've got with my color chips so far. Okay, blue-purple. I've got just the one. Yeah, I thought that was just the one, but now I'm not so sure. That looks really similar to the others. It might be hard to tell on the camera. Move these a little bit closer over here for you. These are all too dark. I love them, but they're too dark. What about this one? Oh, that looks nice. This one looks really nice. And I'm not so sure about this Great Miss one, which is funny because I was so certain of it when I was looking at my color chips in the box. Thistle. No, that looks like it should go over here, doesn't it? I feel like when I get on video, I'm really trying to enunciate my words, and in my head, I'm like, doesn't it? I'm enunciating all of my doesn'ts. Doesn't it? This looks like it should go over here too. We've got a lot of red blues over here, or red purples, excuse me. What if I do that? Maybe. The other thing you might run up against is your color chips might be limited. So there's only 340 color chips in my stash, right? It seems like a lot, but it might not be as diverse across the spectrum as I want. And I seem to encounter that a lot in the purple, so this might be a case of that happening. This seems like it goes over here again. Okay, I'm gonna settle for what I have and call it a day, at least for this assortment here. But I might move these, yeah. Okay, so I've got my personal color wheel set for my project. I'll show you what I have. So I've got my primary colors, and then I did my secondary colors. So primary, secondary, and then I've got my tertiary colors over here. And I actually didn't do all of my tertiary colors. I am missing a red-orange, which is one of my favorite colors. So let me go back real quickly and see if I can find a red-orange pastel. Yeah, I think that'll do. Okay, so this is my personal color wheel for my pastels. If you've never done the personal color wheel before, I might recommend that you do the personal color wheel as instructed on the worksheet before you jump straight into pastels. Hello again. Okay, so now I've got my personal color wheel set. I've got my pastel palette that I'm gonna work with, but the problem that I'm encountering now is that my personal color wheel has 12 colors, which is great, but the Jax pattern requires 16 colors. So what I would need to go back and do is add a few more colors to my color palette here. So I've got a couple options that I want to talk through real quick. So what I could do is I could just choose 2 fabrics that are purple. I could choose 2 fabrics that I really like that are pond. Or I could add in additional colors here. So for example, if I wanted to flesh out the purples here, I could come back and add different purples. If I did that, I might want to balance out the other side of the color wheel. So if I did that, I might also want to add in some yellows, for example. So if I added 2 purples, then I would add 2 yellows. Or if I added 2 pinks, I might add 2 greens. But, excuse me. But again, this is your project and it's a personal color wheel project. So I encourage you to use colors that are meaningful to you and that you like. Okay, so that's how I use the personal color wheel to choose colors for a project. So when I go to choose colors for a rainbow project, I want to jump right into the making. And so I use my personal color wheel to quickly choose my fabrics. And then I find I can get into my favorite part of the project, which is the sewing, faster. Okay, so to end with, I want to encourage you to get these free resources on my blog. There is the personal color wheel worksheet. There is the Rainbow Jax pattern that you can get as a newsletter subscriber for free, or you can also join my Facebook group, and I've posted that pattern there free as well. Are there any questions? I see 3 of you have jumped on real quick, and I just want to say hi to those that have tuned in. This is my first Facebook Live, so I kind of wanted to do a test run before I did a lot of invitation on my channel. So thank you to the few of you who have tuned in. I hope to make this more of a regular thing so I can share my knowledge of color and my love of color with you. And to end with, I just want to say I hope you're enjoying Playful Color Month. And if you end up watching this video and liking it or have questions, please like this video and leave a comment in the comment section to know that you've watched and tuned in. If you've got any ideas that you want to see me do videos and demo on camera, I'd love to hear your feedback. So, okay, with that being said, thank you for tuning in. This is, I didn't even say my name. This is Rebecca from Bryan House Quilts. Thanks for that like. You're the first liker. Okay, thanks again for watching. I'll see you on another video. Goodbye.